And Lord Jesus that have the world searching somewhere out there, buried in a jungle, stuck at the bottom of the ocean, hidden in a forgotten mine shaft or shell inside the cave nobody had entered in the century. Fortune is a waiting gold. They will shriek really ask worth hundreds of millions of dollars. These were so valuable and so material lot that they are lost full blown option for fortune spent chasing them, carry build entirely around finding them, and in more than a few people who have died in the attachment. Today we are counting down 10 of history. The most legendary Lord Jesus was a week so significant that government historian and Jesus hunter are still actively searching for them today. Some of their Jesus are most certainly still sitting untouched somewhere waiting to be found or termite completely not forever destroyed generation ago, with only with legend showing that in on the ask of the covenant. We start with what may be the most famous and most shivering of missing Jesus in the world, the ask of the covenant. According to Hebrew Bible, the ark were a golden chest-like container built to hold the stone table, inscribed with a 10 commandment sign to have been constructed by in Islam following instructions given directly by God during their journey through the wilderness after the exodus from Egypt, despite as being carved from acacia wood and covered in the pure gold with two golden cherubim mounted on its lid. The ark was tied to house the direct presence of God and was carried before Israel in the battle for generation before eventually being placed in the fifth temple in Jerusalem built by King Solomon. And then according to the history record, it seems like escape the ark isn't modern again after the first temple was destroyed by the Babylon in the 587 BCE, leaving one of history's the greatest unanswered question: what actually happened to it? Several major theories have aside for over 2,000 years. Some believe the ark was destroyed or looted by the Babylonians during their conquest. Its gold melted down and its bicycle form lost forever. Authors believe the with reason anticipating the coming invasion essentially hit the ark somewhere before the temple fell. Point in the hidden chamber beneath the temple mount itself, at the era whose most champion and the archons started make any thorough excavation today politically and rely the extremely frown. Perhaps the most famous active theory come from Ethiopia, where a century old religious tradition maintained that the real art of Konik was settled around to Ethiopia around 10th century BCE and has been kept ever since. A heavily weighted champagne in town of Assam. According to this tradition, the axe is watched over by a single despite Gilman monk for life, and no one else is present to view it, making identification essentially impossible. The 6th century for sorting biblical scholarship and no shortage of dramatic popular theatre, including of the sequel sentence famous fictional archaeologists. The true face of the art of the Covenant remains of history the most enduring release mystery. To the Amber Room. Sometimes called the eighth wonder of the world, the Amber Room was an antechamber of Russian palace, like Flor to ceiling with intricately carved amber panel, baker with gold leaf and mirror, and originally gives to Russian Tsar Peter the Great by the King of Prussia in 1716 as a diplomatic gesture installed in the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg. The room was expanded over the following decade, introducing mastering Italy. Ultimately, it's meant to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars into the same currency. During World War II, as Nazi Germany forced deep into Soviet territory, Russian curators attempted to hide the fragile gift amber panel by covering them with simple wallpaper, hoping Germans would overlook them. The deceit didn't work. Germans so discovered the room, carefully dismantled the panel, received the entire amber room back to Königsberg, a demonstration on Baltic, where it was dismantled and put on public display inside Königsberg Castle, and then as was turned this fight against Germany, the amber room furnished the last confirmative plaque inside Königsberg Castle in early 1945, solely dominated during the fighting, and so afterward, all trace of the amber room disappeared entirely. What happened to it remains finally debated. Some historians believe the room was tragedy happened to remain politically debated. Some historians believe the room was tragically destroyed when Königsberg Castle caught fire during a Soviet assault. It tragically destroyed when believe German officials managed to execute and hide the panel somewhere before the city fell. Possibly in on the extensive network of underground bunker, mine or tunnel used throughout the region during the war. where they may still sitting today, scaled away and forgotten. Numerous serial search expeditions have come through my bunker and underground fossils across the region over decades so far without success. In a far-reaching with Russian and German craftsmen spent over 2 decades painstakingly recreating an entirely new armor room from Crete using historical photographs as reprint, finally completing the reconstruction in 2003. But the original one, the most valuable single artillery tissue ever created, remains officially missing to this day. Thirdly, the Flor de Civic. In November of 1511, one of the largest and most heavily laden ships of the Portuguese colonial and empire, the Flor de Lama, was making its way back from a military campaign in Malaysia, in modern-day Malaysia, when it was caught in a violent storm of the coast of Sumatra and sunk. What made this shipwreck so extraordinary wasn't the loss of vessel itself, but its cargo. The Flor de Lama was reported like carrying an almost unimaginable fortune in platinum, gold, diamond, and precious artifacts looted from wealthy communities of Malacca, including gifts intended for kings of Portugal. Some historical insights have linked the value of lost cargo at well over $2 billion in modern century, potentially making it one of the single most valuable shipwrecks in the human history. The ship's extra rating plate remain unconfirmed to this day, likely believed to live somewhere in the Johor and difficult to search water of Strait of Malacca between Indonesia and Malaysia. Numerous treasure hunter expeditions funded by both private companies and at-time government-backed operations have searched for the wreck over the decade, coupled by dispute between the government of Portugal, Malaysia, Indonesia over what have legal right to any treasure request given the complicated colonial history surrounding how the treasure was originally acquired to the first place. To date, despite extent searching, the no confirmed wreck of Flor de Lama has ever been definitively located, and excavated, and it remains one of the largest undercover fortune lying somewhere at ocean's floor. For Yamashita the gold, According to a persistent and controversial legend, during World War II, the Imperial Japan Army systematically vast quantities of gold, jewels, and other valuables from across acute South Asia and attempted to consolidate and hide this fortune somewhere in the Philippines before Japan. The adventure surrendered under the defeat of General Tomoyuki Yamashita, the Japanese commander in the region, giving the legendary Jesuit its popular name Yamashita the Gold. According to the legend, rather than risk having it stolen, with captured or destroyed as the war turned against Japan, the Jesuit would actually buried into a network of secret tunnel, cave, and underground world, and throughout the Philippines, continue using forced labor, which labor in a segment often killed after war, especially to protect the location. The secrecy, the story Scientific tradition in the 1907 and 1980, when Filipino Jesuit hunter named Rogelio Rosas publicly claimed to have recovered a hidden tunnel containing a gold birha situate and other Jesuit, sparking a long and highly political legal battle after he alleged the Jesuit was exiled from him by Astro connected to Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos. The well documented express were future decades of the public. The speculation that his family had secretly recovered and profiled from some portion of Yamashita, the legendary host. Mainstream historians remain deeply skeptical of the Jesuit, the extent at the scale described in popular legend, pointing out that solid, independently verifying historical allies supporting the story is a remake basically thin, and that many specific claims appear to have been secretly explained to over the decade. Nevertheless, the legend has proven remarkably resilient, and Jesuit hunters continue searching cave and tunnel throughout the Philippines to this day, hoping to be the one to finally uncover Yamashita the Gold. The night fight, the Nazi gold train. Our next entry come from Warbrick, Poland, a region was part of Nazi Germany during World War II, home to persistent legend of fully loaded train ordinarily packed with loose good gold, jewel, and value as work that spoiled west into a network of separate tunnels beneath the Our Mountain at Nazi forces retreat from advancing Soviet troops in early 1945. According to local legend passed down for generations, the train was deliberately hidden inside one of cervical sector of Nazi were now to have been constructing in the region a part of a later Mysterious Way Time project, and the tunnel ensure were then intentionally or collapsed to conceal the train and prevent Soviet forces from capturing its content. The legend raised massive worldwide media attention in 2015 when two treasure hunters, one German, one Polish, publicly aroused they had used ground penetrating radar to identify what they believed was strong avoid a great train hidden within a specific hillside turned near were busy. The announcement struck an enormous a public extensive media coverage and famous government central excavation effort by Polish aeronautical. Despite the eastern estimate, the resulting excavation the ultimately find the locate any train many is local and meaning expect gone disparate scream about the original radar fighting from the very beginning, suggesting the underground anomaly directed may have simply been the surrogate of natural statistical formation rather than general man-made to still the broader reason is unquestionably weak well documented with turn system parts of a mysterious one only partly understood Nazi construction project new asteroid when two intended purpose has never been fully approved by historians given this well documented network of real still not feeling much underground tunnel. The legend of hidden Nazi gold train continue up to the attaches to a hamster to reason to this day. From Syriac relic lost to history to sunken ship loaded with gold to treasure chest deep library hidden in our one modern era, the 10 legendary the 5 legendary treasure shows how powerfully the promise of Lord Net can capture human immigration across centuries and continue alike. Some of the treasure may be destroyed forever, existing now only as legend, author, as most generally are still out there right now, sitting quietly in the arcade, a sunken ship or forgotten tunnel, waiting for someone determined enough to finally find them. Wake up, the Lord Jesus. Do you think it's more likely to actually still be out there? Let me know in comment below, and if you enjoy this hunt through history, the great that answered for truth, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dive into history, the biggest mysteries. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.